Hi, and welcome to an exclusive interview of TMB News. Today we are in New Delhi, and our guest needs no introduction today. He is our MP and India's Minister of State of Education and External Affairs, Dr. RK Ranjan Singh. Brother, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I've been interviewing this time about
Okay.
the issues of Manipur across India and in Manipur in search of our way back to development and peace. How can we pave our own way for development and our prosperous Manipur again in our state?
Yeah, in my opinion, and also I recall back in my past activities, particularly about the concern of Manipur. I was trained under the organization of Manipur Cultural Integration Conference that was founded in the year 1966, headed by the First Chief Minister of Manipur, Maharaj Kumar Priyavrata. And following him, I have enough chance to travel the entire length and breadth of the state of Manipur and the remotest part of the state, even in the border. All the villages I have traveled it, starting from 1973 for me up to 84. And also the idea of Manipur Cultural Integration Conference is the idea of Manipur. The civilization and culture of Manipur, which now we claim that about 200 years or more we have a civilization. And all this civilization was met and contribute and share journey of the different ethnic communities who resided right from the early days of the civilization in the state of Manipur. And so even the language, if you see the poetic language of the Meitei or Manipuri, you will find all the language of different ethnic communities. Say for example, Ponpi. Pon is a Kuki dialect. They have just like a blanket. And Fi means our Meiteis are talking about the Fi. So like that many in the water or in the sun or many the issues are almost same. And our the Manipuri language is developed with all the amalgamation and assessment of the different ethnic communities. This is number one proof. We have a literature, we have a culture, and we have many things. These are all evolved through the sheer participation of different ethnic communities. Then in the process of Manipur Cultural Integration Conference, I found that time there was certain kind of the untouchability type, but not exactly that. Say for example, someone who married the different tribes or castes, so it was not accepted by the society, and that was created a rift between the different community. So that was our first target. Then we thought that it should be removed from all kinds. All men are human beings, same thing. So we have to adjust. That was the first step for Manipur Cultural Integration Conference. We have traveled to different parts of the states with the different ethnic communities having the common dining, and also talking our folk stories and the origin of our the communities and how we settle. There are many folklores and folk songs are almost same with the different ethnic communities. That was our first trial. Second trial was that intercaste marriage should be recognized. Then that was our second trial. Even then we could not have a cemented, unified Manipur accepting by all the communities. We cannot achieve it. First one I just mentioned that the interdinings and sitting together, and second is for recognition of intercaste marriage. That also we could not prove. The third one is that ultimately we come to know that there should be an economic integration. Only when the economic integration is prevailed, then the gap between the haves and the have-nots and developed and undeveloped and the unequal development process can be neutralized. We thought that that was our third experiment, and that is quite effective also. So, for example, if you recall back in the ancient time, the hill peoples and the valley people, there is a term we call it Nga Isanaba. The valley people will go to the hill once in a year with the products of the valley and hand over to the hill friends, family friends in the hills. And family friends from the hill, they will also offer a used production, new production of the hill, so that there is a connectivity between people to people. But of course, sometimes we feel that because of the present system of connectivity, the transportation linkage, then ultimately what happened, the man-to-man connection was distorted. In place of that, intermediary persons is linking from the valley to hills. They go to the hill, collect the product and sell in the valley. From the valley, they will go to the hills and sell the product. So the linkage between peoples was replaced by intermediary because of the road connectivity and the so-called development projects. So this we feel it. Then ultimately, economic integration, we are targeting for that.
And especially at this crucial juncture of Manipur.
I will come to that point. And then we try to bring that economic integration. What is economic integration in our integrational process is that whatever products should sell to the foothills and whatever products from the valley should also sell that. The product to product, the economic exchanges can foster each other. That was our priority. But ultimately what happened in such attempts, we are not able to achieve the full goal of that, but the impact was given, and slowly development project was come up. And very recently during the regime of the 9 years of Modi's government, the planning has touched to the remotest part, and the development delivery for each and every person like that, sabke saath sabke vishwas. You see, this kind of the systems, Manipur also started implementation on this issue. But there are certain factors which disturb, particularly the present crisis in Manipur. In this context, I seriously feel and strongly set back to me also the idea of Manipur, which I mentioned at the beginning, the creation, sheer participation of this Manipur culture has sometimes misled and also trying to have the small, the nationalism and the micro-nationalism activities has come up, and then every different ethnic communities is activated in a negative the position, and this negativism create the present crisis. Over and above, internationally, the northeastern India is a very strategic point of the country, and also on the other hand, our next door neighbor, Myanmar, the political situation is not congenial, and any kind of upheaval or political turbulence, it will always affect to Northeast India, particularly in Manipur. And that is the background causing the present the crisis and the violence activities is based on this. So now this has to be how to make it neutralize all these violences, and how to bring back our erstwhile the symbiosis between the hills and plain. We need to create, we have to provide this kind of ecosystem again. So in this context, we are talking about the illegal immigration. This we are not exaggerate. The United Nations, UNHCR, they published in the last year more than 20,000, no, 52,000, more than 50,000, I think. Some 50,500 illegal immigrants were already from Myanmar already entered to Manipur. This was a United Nations publication. So all this has how it was happened. India government is having Foreigners Act, illegal immigration, how to control, everything is that. But at the field applications, there are certain loopholes and also weakness. As a result, the illegal immigrants were entered to us.
Is it due to the internal weakness of the state?
Maybe the administrative, the alertness is lack of alertness in the administration, and that's why this is accumulated not within this the period of the 7 years of Mr. Biren's period, not only his period. His period is the period where we combating or the what you call the facing the challenges. But prior to that, right from the early stage of the administration, we are coming so freely, and we never feel that such kind of violence will be occur. As a result, now it is happening. So we have to tighten up the border administration and also border management, and also reactivate the illegal system, how to control the illegal system. That has to be implemented.
And you are one of the members yesterday at the meeting held in Kangla with Arambai Tengol. And there were some few demands by them, where in them it was one was the Assam rifle issues in Manipur. So how would you?
I also long back, I have already informed by different groups of people to me also, the border management managed by the Assam rifle is something not to the proper way.
Then it's different with like the BSF.
That will come. Then accordingly, I after joining the as an MP in the Lok Sabha, I talked to some of the home ministers and the defense minister at that time, and they informed me that the India's international boundaries are allocated to different sections. One post, one border, one post. This was the policy. Why that? Bangladesh and the Pakistan is dealt by the BSF, and the Nepal border area is dealt by the SSB, and the border with the northern China, border with the China is dealt by the Indo-Tibetans, and the Eastern Front, starting from Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, is by the Assam Rifle. Then we also tried to earlier before the Assam Rifles managed the border. Our area also managed by the Border Security Force. I met personally, I talked personally, but there is a difference I observe. When the BSF is looking after the Manipur sector of international boundary, they have a border headquarters, head office, a bit far away from the immediate boundary line, but they have boundary posts, close proximity to the international boundary, about 30 peoples. Many the border posts are there. But in case of Assam Rifle, I found that they were always posted 20 to 50 kilometers away from the boundary line. And therefore, the traveling 50 and 20 kilometers for every day and looking after the porous boundary is not possible at all. And therefore, either to replace the Assam Rifle, but it will take time. I know all the Assam Rifle establishment all through the boundary has a use, but or to modify the system presently managed by the Assam Rifles should be rectified in the forms of that how the BSF is managing. They should also have the border posts to the close proximity of the boundary line. Otherwise, sitting 20 kilometers away or 50 kilometers away, then they cannot look into the boundary sensitively and effectively. So that's why the proposed by our social activist group of the Manipur, I think it should be considered and to modify it or to replace in the interest of the national security.
You're approaching the Home Minister as a Prime Minister for that?
Yeah, I will approach.
Last time I did an interview of yours in Manipur where we spoke about the FMR. Now it is closed.
It is in the process of closing.
Okay, I mean, it's yet to be closed.
Yet to be closed. It is in the process. The government of India is highly think to seize these facilities. And in the meantime, perhaps you might have heard that boundary fencing will also be implemented soon. And where it is, day before yesterday, I come to know that the BRO, Border Road Organization or something like that, they are the group of the developer. They fenced about 10 kilometers earlier in the Yangopofi, Lokchau, the wildlife sanctuary across that.
But it has already started.
Yeah, they already completed 10 kilometers. Now another 230 stress of international boundary. Within this, we have about 161 kilometers length of the international boundary in the Manipur sector, and that has to be the fence. But BRO authority informed some of the social media that they have put up the proposal to have a fence. The style of Bangladesh-India fencing style will be started, and it will cost about 300 the crores, 30,000 crores of rupees is the project is they are preparing. I hope it will be done soon.
And you see, as there is a problem of or a different mindset of the people of Manipur about our MPs, and I've seen your work and I've listened to you in the Parliament. And as far as I'm concerned, you have been vocal to the Parliament as well as to many discussions and debates, and you have been like around 13 to 14 issues you put up in the front regarding the unsettled Indo-Myanmar border and the exemption clause of safeguard clause of state of Manipur in a citizenship amendment bill, and you've been doing about the education policy. Like in your own words, like would you please tell us?
See, at the beginning I mentioned about you that I'm a member of the Manipur Cultural Integration Conference. There was an issue of boundary pillar in the old 33 new 66, call it Molsam area, and that was the controlled by the then Burmese army. So we group of people under the leadership of MKPP visited the Molsam site right from 1980, 81 and up to 89. We traveled very frequently. So we argued, and also we wrote letter to the then Prime Minister, the Indira Gandhi, then to Rajiv Gandhi, then to the Narasimha Rao. But of course, ultimately, we can save Molsam, and the place from where the boundary pillar was displaced was already pointed out by the Indo-Burma boundary delimitation group, and still that pillar is yet to be erected. But in the meantime, Burmese side they argue you have to have the Soro in the north, and you give this small sum to us. Then we thought that Soro is, where is Soro at that time, we do not know. Then ultimately Bob Cutting, he was a Major Cutting, and then the best friend of MKPB, he came and said that Sana, Soro is also your land and Molsam is also your land. How can you extend it? Then we argue it ultimately. Soro is also written and also Molsam is also written. Like that, I travel all throughout the boundaries of Manipur, and I know some of the strategic point also. There are certain discrepancy, and some area, if you look to the Treaty of Yadango, or the Indo-Burma Boundary Commission's Article number 1, the boundary delimitation has to be done based on the traditional boundary. Whether that was observed or not, we have a lot of doubt. Even then, the boundary issue, when I also thought that it is under the control of the Ministry of External Affairs. When I joined, I have the chance to join as a state minister in the external affairs. I thought that it can be solved. Then I called my boundary cell headed by a brigadier. For thrice time, I called a meeting and opened the map and discussed the things. Ultimately, they said that there is no discrepancy. Then I called 2 professors from Manipur, one from the art science, who is expert in the remote sensing and satellite, and another from the Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, Mr. Homan and Mr. Manishandra. Both of them I called it at my own cost, and they plead to my boundary committee. After that, they said that, sir, there are certain issues which can be taken up based on that, the 2 professors. Then I was so happy. Then after a few weeks, they again said that, sir, though it is pertinent to put off, technically there is some loophole. That is, the concerned state, the head of the concerned state or the chief secretary should write to the government of India that we have the discrepancy of boundary in between this and that, so that the state should approach to address these anomalies.
The state has to approach, like initiate first to the central government.
So far in the record, the CSOs like our Manipur Cultural Integration and CSOs like who are working for the boundary, they are applied, but from the authority of the state is yet to receive it.
Okay.
That is one the problem here in the boundary. But in boundary issue, it's a very complex thing. We cannot say that it should be do like this, like that. This is an issue connected with the another country. So there should be first we have to make the stage of congenial, the convincing point to have a boundary commission. After that, drawing the map and then demarcation will come, and after that, after demarcation, the final will. There are 3 distinct stages. These are all very difficult stages. Even then, we should pursue the boundaries of Manipur should be as per record before joining to the Union of India. That has to be have to be studied and to be implemented. And so I talked to the Parliament also about that, and even I quoted that after joining India, even the Cabo Valley was given, but I didn't mention Cabo Valley. But the loss of the Manipur area is about 20,000, some 200 square kilometers of land. We were loose. Of course, this was early stage Treaty of Yadango. It was given and many things. But of course, up to 1953, as per the record of the Lok Sabha proceedings, I come to know that up to 1953, the what you call the Sanat, in lieu of the use of the Cabo Valley by the Burma has to pay to Manipur, and that was given up to 1953. After that, how it was stopped. There was no political, Lok Sabha proceeding, and how it was the exempted that kind of the tax receiving from Burma is not clear.
So Cabo Valley was our land, and they paid like the actual rent for that place.
That was not clear until now. But the record is that up to 1953, in the Lok Sabha proceeding, that was put by the earlier MP of Manipur to restore this Cabo Valley. And the then Home Minister said that this is 100 years old. It's not possible to revert. And of course, up to 1953, they received the revenue from Myanmar, and that was sent to Manipur for development. That was the reply. You will find it in the Lok Sabha proceedings of 1953, 52, 53, 54, like that.
That's interesting. This year election, 2024, of India's election, Manipur, as you see, is very, it's on a boil for 9 months. Is it possible to run election in Manipur, and your party, BJP, how do you feel about contesting election in the state?
It's a very reluctant to say also. If you see the present sensitivity and degree of violence, and if we talk about the election, people may be annoyed and they may not be listening also. But how to calm down the people's mind, how to bring the peace, and then only then we may talk about the election. But of course, the present situation is very unpredictable, and we cannot say that it will be happen. So maybe there may be observation whether the violence can conduct the election or not. That has to be very seriously the need for examination. And in the meantime, I do not know how to say that the people are in the relief camps. They were all trauma, and even the children during this severe winter, how they are bearing all this trauma. That is one of the most serious concern. So we have to look into the matter, and otherwise talking with the election is I think untimely. I feel like that.
Okay. And lastly, tomorrow marks the 75th celebration of India's Republic Day. How would you love people to celebrate, tomorrow's Republic Day?
I think this Republic Day celebration is a joyful and creating more confidence among the citizens of the India with proud and brightness. Our Prime Minister already the appeal to all the citizens of the country, saying that by 2047 the India's the progress we should dream to be the developed nation, and Amrit Kal, and that Amrit Kal will be proof, documented by the tomorrow's the Republic Day. And it is also one of the interesting thing is that the ladies contingents will lead the Republic Day parade, and this is another empowerment to the women of the country. Perhaps in the last Lok Sabha session we passed the bill for 33% reservation of the women, and we are giving the women empowerment, and these are the things which we will reflect to the 26th January event, and we all together seeing the progress and hoping the future and more brighter and more developed and more strong nations.
Thank you for joining us. This is TMB News. I'm Napoleon. It's goodbye.